Okay, so you want to invest. You know you need to, but then you look at your financial life and boom, you're staring down a credit card balance, a student loan, maybe an employer 401k, a Roth IRA, and suddenly you are completely overwhelmed by the sheer volume of contradictory advice out there. Should you save? Should you pay off debt first? Should you just jump right into the stock market? Take a deep breath. Today, this explainer is going to cut right through all of that frantic noise. We are going to walk through the exact, mathematically sound, step-by-step sequence to get your money working as efficiently as possible.
Seriously, where do I even start? If you've recently caught yourself asking that, your confusion is absolutely valid. There is a mountain of financial noise out there, and so much of it just contradicts itself. When every single financial goal feels equally urgent, it's incredibly easy to just freeze up and do absolutely nothing. But doing nothing is literally the only guaranteed way to lose. So we're going to fix that today by giving you a direct, clear path forward.
So let's dive right into this structured roadmap. We'll be covering 1. The financial baseline, 2. Free money and protection, 3. Defeating high-interest debt, 4. Maximizing tax-advantaged accounts, and 5. Customizing your financial plan. Think of this whole sequence like a financial staircase, where every single level perfectly protects the one beneath it.
All right, starting right off with Section 1, the financial baseline, or finding your raw material. Look, before we even touch the first official step of investing, we have to talk about the prerequisite that almost everybody skips. You cannot build a solid plan on vague assumptions. Vague plans simply do not build wealth. You have to take your actual monthly income after taxes and subtract your fixed expenses. Your rent, car insurance, minimum debt payments, what's left over. That resulting number is your raw material. And it is literally the fuel you are going to need for absolutely everything else we talk about in this sequence. You need to spend 20 minutes to find this exact number before doing anything else.
Moving right along to Section 2, Free Money and Protection, covering steps 1 through 3.
Once you've got that raw material calculated, here is where the action actually starts. These first 3 immediate priorities are meticulously designed to build your basic financial defense. We are solving your most pressing vulnerabilities right out of the gate, well before you expose your money to the stock market.
Step 1. Before you invest a single dollar, you absolutely need a financial cushion. About $1,000 to $2,000 sitting in a basic, boring savings account. It's wild, but nearly half of Americans couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency with savings right now. Without this buffer, a minor hiccup, like your car breaking down or a sudden medical bill, turns into an absolute crisis. You'll be forced to either go into high-interest debt or pull money out of your investments, which just triggers nasty taxes and penalties. This starter fund is what keeps your investments completely untouched when life inevitably happens.
Now for Step 2, let's talk about the employer 401k match. To put this into perspective, if you make $50,000 a year and your boss matches up to 3% of your salary, you are leaving $1,500 of literal free money on the table every single year if you ignore it. Honestly, there is no investment in the world, not crypto, not real estate, not stocks, that guarantees an immediate 50 to 100% return on your money like an employer match does. You absolutely must capture this before doing anything else.
Next up is Section 3, Defeating High-Interest Debt, and the underlying math of Step 3.
Now, Step 3 trips a lot of people up because it can totally feel like you're going backwards instead of building wealth. But mathematically speaking, paying off high-interest debt is literally one of the highest return investments you can ever make. Think about it. If you have credit card debt charging you 22% in interest, paying that off is a guaranteed 22% return on your money. Now compare that to the stock market, which historically averages around a 10% return per year. Paying off that high-interest debt mathematically crushes investing in the stock market. Any debt with an interest rate above 7 or 8% needs to be wiped out aggressively before you do any further investing.
All right, Section 4, Maximizing Tax-Advantaged Accounts, which is where we build the fortress in steps 4 through 6. So, the urgent threats are neutralized. You've got your cash buffer, you're grabbing that employer match, and you have zero high-interest debt. Now we get to transition into the mid-game. Steps 4, 5, and 6 are all about creating serious financial insulation and really scaling up those retirement investments to maximize your wealth over time. Step 4 is taking that starter fund and expanding it into a full emergency fund.
We're talking 3 to 6 months of living expenses safely tucked away in a high-yield savings account. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Keeping that much cash uninvested feels, well, mathematically inefficient. But listen, its sole job is insurance. It is simply there to protect you from blowing up your investments during a major crisis, like a sudden job loss. The people who have this fund during a market crash, they get to keep investing. The people without it are usually the ones forced to sell right at the absolute bottom.
Then we hit step 5, the Roth IRA. Maxing out this criminally underused account, which currently has roughly a $7,000 annual limit for most folks, is an absolute game changer. Because the money grows completely tax-free, and you can withdraw it tax-free in retirement after age 59 and a half. Utilizing this one tool correctly could literally save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes over your lifetime. It's massive.
Step 6 is circling back to your 401k to max it out. The 2024 limit is $23,000, and doing this actually reduces your current taxable income right now. But yeah, $23,000 is a massive target to try and hit all at once. So actually, scratch that, don't try to do it all at once. The smartest strategy here is to simply capture every single pay raise. Every time you get a bump in pay, just increase your contribution by 1 or 2 percentage points right before lifestyle inflation takes over. It's a total hack, and you won't even feel the sacrifice.
Which brings us to section 5, customizing your financial plan, playing offense, and handling edge cases.
Finally, let's talk about going on the absolute offense. Step 7 is opening a regular taxable brokerage account. Yes, it doesn't have the fancy tax advantages we just talked about, but what it does have is 0 contribution limits and 0 restrictions on when you can access your own money. So if your goal is early financial independence, say you want to retire at 45 or 50, this account gives you total flexibility, simply because it doesn't have those strict age-based withdrawal penalties tied to typical retirement accounts. Now, I bet somebody watching this right now is thinking, but wait, my situation is totally different. What about my low-interest debt? Let's address those common edge cases so you know exactly how to keep your momentum going forward. We already established that you need to aggressively attack debt over 7%. But what if you have a 3 or 4% student loan or a mortgage? Well, the math clearly dictates that you should just pay the minimum on that low-interest debt and invest the rest. Why? Because historically, the stock market outperforms that low 3 or 4% interest rate by a very meaningful margin. You're far better off putting your money to work in the market.
What about other edge cases? Well, if you don't have an employer 401k, no problem. Simply skip steps 2 and 6. If you're self-employed, you'll want to look into a SEP IRA or a solo 401k. These are just special retirement accounts designed specifically for freelancers and business owners. And hey, if you genuinely cannot afford to hit the maximum limits right now, like if you can only swing $50 a month, that is completely okay. Figuring out your exact place in this sequence and just doing something is what actually builds wealth over time.
The absolute biggest takeaway I want you to get from this explainer is that this order is not just some arbitrary list of good ideas. Each and every step physically protects the next one in line. Following them in this exact sequence ensures your money is working as hard as mathematically possible, all without ever leaving you vulnerable to a major life disruption.
So, I want to leave you with this question today. Looking at the financial staircase we've built, which specific step are you on right now? I challenge you to calculate your raw material, pinpoint your exact step, and take action to master your sequence today. Trust me, your future self is going to thank you for building that fortress.